would you describe your party's level of preparedness for the election?
I would say that the Progressive Labor Party is prepared. It's not something that we were expecting, so we certainly had a little bit of internal work to do regarding our candidate selection. But I think that parties should always be prepared to face the mandate of voters. And I'm happy to compare and to contrast the records versus the One Bermuda Alliance's time in government and the Progressive Labor Party's time in government. And I think since we've been elected, you'll see that we've created over 700 jobs prior to the pandemic. We've got an investment into the country. We certainly have been succeeding in diversifying our economy. And so we're happy to put ourselves forward towards the voters for their verdict.
Anything causing you to lose sleep?
Oh, things cause me to lose sleep every single time in this office. And I mean, it's difficulty, but it's not around politics. It's around the people of whom we're elected to serve. So the stories of which we hear, and that's what keeps the cabinet driven. That's the reason why we provided these unemployment benefits during the pandemic, which is something that was unprecedented, but we wanted to ensure that people in the country did not have to struggle. That's the reason why we've introduced additional measures, but that's also the reason why we've given tremendous support to not only the business community and to put so much work into reopening our tourism industry to get people back to work. The one thing that I know about the Progressive Labor Party is that we don't just show up on the doorstep come election time. We have been in the communities continuously throughout our term in office, throughout our term in opposition. Even our new candidates were on the doorstep because some of them were selected about 2 years ago as are identified to go ahead and run inside of certain constituencies. So we know that our personal contact and relationship with voters is something that they value. But during the pandemic, our candidates and our MPs were there, making sure to help to deliver food, make sure to take care of persons who may have been falling on hard times, and to ensure that they could get the government help and assistance which was necessary to keep our country stable.
Do you think COVID or complacency will hurt turnout to the election?
From what we've seen on the doorsteps, people are excited to exercise their right to vote. I know that there are persons who will benefit from lower turnout, and there are persons who are trying to scare people into thinking that these elections will not be safe. Persons in this country should recognize and understand that this government has had an excellent record in keeping the country safe. The fact that we are the 6th most tested country in the world, the fact that we are the most tested country in all the Americas, proves and demonstrates that we will be able to have a safe and fair election. So that does not scare me. Voting is important, and I have no doubt that the parliamentary registrar will do what is necessary to ensure that persons are able to exercise a right to vote in a safe and effective manner.
Before every general election, the subject of independence comes up. Is it a red herring in 2020?
It's without question a red herring, but when the opposition is grasping at straws, that is the one thing of which they want to grasp at. Here's the facts when it comes to independence. People know the Progressive Labor Party's stance on independence, and we are not going to run away from that stance. But what is simple is that independence in this country will only be decided by a referendum. Independence will not be in our election platform. Independence, if there was ever a move for independence to happen at any time in the future, it would only be on a referendum. So it should not be an issue in an election campaign because it is not going to be in our manifesto. I don't know if the One Bermuda Alliance will have it in their manifesto, but if any point in time where there was that decision that wanted to be made by any government, it has to be endorsed by the persons at a referendum where that is the single and only issue.